came down to the library and got an enormous selection of books to bring up to the class. So everything nonfiction, fiction, history, people, famous people, Canadian traditions, and so on, and put them on display in our classroom. And every day during their read to self or read to someone time, they could choose from those books, and as they read through them, if they came across a fact or an interesting thing, they could mark it with a sticky tab. And that's kind of how we started, just to introduce it to them.
The shells to decorate some of their clothing. The teeth of a bison was used as a necklace. Eagle, intelligent, and is able to transform himself into a human.
Drew from some nonfiction reading of First Nations people, which actually turned out to be quite high interest for them.
My project was about First Nations clothing. I wondered about how they hunted, because I was interested about that because they don't really have guns or anything. Like, they would use bow and arrows, spears, or all that.
Taught them questioning techniques and deep thinking questions with the nonfiction reading.
Yeah.
And then from there, then they started asking questions from the selection that they were reading from.
I wondered about what First Nations made their tools out of. What's the rarest flower to find in Canada?
Do their whole family go hunting?
Well, I studied about flowers and plants. And one of my questions was, can you eat plants? What's your topic? Animals?
I wanted it to be inquiry-based. So I wanted them to, have their own interest, and they did. And it was quite a broad spectrum, from sports and, like I said, actually the First Nations content was the most interesting for most of them, and but there was also projects on languages of Canada, and mining actually was quite interesting as well.
My topic was mining and crystals.
Why did you pick that topic? Well, because I like mining and digging.
What else do miners dig up other than diamonds?
We did one computer lab session where they could search for some answers to their questions.
Permafrost can go as deep as 20,000 feet down.
I found out that some people go down so deep that they have to wear ice suits.
I learned that some languages of BC are endangered. They get cedar bark and they mush it up, and then they let it dry and weave it. It's as soft as sheep's wool, but water repellent. How did you find your information? On the computers in the computer lab.
In a book.
They did some representations of what they learned and posted that in the class along with one of their main questions and one of their most interesting facts that they found out through their discoveries.
Way different sports than the sports that we do now. I learned that in cold weather, the Haida would wear moccasins. There were no roads back then, but they were passed through the forest. And along the lakes and rivers, in most seasons, people walked from place to place.
That there's a lot of animals in Canada?
Because it's a big country and it's my most favorite one.